Cinerama is one of the few surviving cinema theatres in Rotterdam. As it stands, they compete with two Pathé multiplexes as well as another cinema theatre named Lantaarnvenster. Cinerama finds itself positioned on Westblaak, this being almost directly in the centre of the city. Inconveniently, this means that it's also far closer to Pathé Schouwburg, meaning they're competing with a monster of a theatre chain. We'd heard multiple rumours over the past year concerning Cinerama's future, so we decided to investigate to see whether theatres such as Cinerama are surviving or thriving in this day and age. Alright, so we're in Cinerama, and upon entering it seems like I've been greeted with a very different atmosphere. Cinerama seems very cozy, it seems very nostalgic, and it gives off a vibe which is very different to other cinemas. I suggest we take a look and see what Cinerama is actually all about. Hi, Arthur. Thomas, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Should we check it out?
Yeah, sure, sounds good. So what's Cinerama all about?
Well, it's kind of like an old theatre. It's the oldest in Rotterdam. Everything has been teared down, actually.
Okay.
So there are only three parties left. Pathé, Lantaarnvenster and us. So we're kind of the oldest, most ambience-like theatre.
Okay. And you mentioned that Cinerama is one of the more ambient theatres. What kind of experience do you think that brings to the audience? Why do you think people come here?
Well, we have now this small slogan made. It's like the prettigste theater from Rotterdam, and I don't know how to say good in English, but it's like
something like the coziest theatre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like relaxed. You have to like this old ambience. So we do some live music now. Some DJ is going to play tonight. So we want to go for some kind of experience.
If you think about all the Pathés popping up in Rotterdam, how does that affect Cinerama?
Well, it all depends on where they're going to go with the movies.
Okay.
So there's like this middle area where we're quite strong. So we have this Wes Anderson kind of thing, like the right wing of an art house movie, and that's like the forte of Cinerama. And the biggest advantage of how we program is that we can go to the right and we can go to the left. Of course, Pathé is a big player with lots of money in their pocket, so they can do quite a lot.
Okay, and does that mean that you show different content than cinemas like Pathé?
We do. 90% of the people go to Pathé. So Venster and us do like 5%. If we can get it to 7 or 10, it's a huge growth. And as we exist now, it's working good, and I think we can progress to a big theatre. Yes, I think it's possible. If you get your name out, if you get your vibe out, stuff will grow.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, for sure.
Alright, thank you for your time.
Alright, you're welcome.
Alright, so we've seen what Cinerama is all about. They very much match our expectations in terms of it being a nostalgic and atmospheric place in which you can go to see a film. But we believe that there's more to the story than meets the eye, so we're going to go see a film expert to see what he has to say about Cinerama. Having spoken to Arthur, his optimism seemed genuine. He envisaged a bright future for Cinerama, and it seemed like he truly believes that if a person were to set foot into Cinerama, not only would they enjoy the experience, but they'd come back for more. And we felt the same way. But we still thought that Cinerama being so close to the Pathé was its major problem. Now we're going to go see an expert on traditional cinema and see what he has to say.
Multiplexes are fine, but they're all the same. They're always the same. So if you provide a place where you know you're going to have like a really great experience, then maybe these kind of independent theaters can survive. But I would say it's rough because also the main competition is not coming from multiplexes, but watching cinema at home. I would say Netflix is the biggest enemy because then you consume cinema, or else you think you watch cinema, but you basically open the sink and open the faucet and you just gargle on cinema. So I'm not sure that multiplexes are the biggest danger for independent theaters.
As Professor Auger speculated, smaller cinema theaters may be able to access more moviegoers through an added value. Arthur had mentioned the exact same thing. We were introduced to a new problem though, Netflix. And we were still wondering whether people were even aware of what Cinerama had to offer, especially as one of Pathé's theaters is positioned so close. We ventured into the night and asked around.
Ken je Cinerama?
Ja.
Nee, ik kan niet zeggen. Of is dat die hele oude bioscoop?
Ja,
zeg maar
dat
nog
is
heel,
die.
daar ben ik wel een paar keer langs gelopen, ja.
Wel, ik ken het wel, maar ik ben er nooit geweest.
Nooit van gehoord.
Nee.
Ja, het is een...
We went on throughout the night. Most people had never been to Cinerama, let alone knew of the place. But we had interviewed them in front of Pathé. So we decided to question people on a more neutral ground, namely Erasmus University's campus. Alright, so you go to the cinema sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Which cinemas do you go to?
Most of the time to Pathé in Rotterdam.
Okay, by the Schouwburg.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And do you ever go to Cinerama?
No, I've never been there. So.
Have you heard anything about
I've heard that it exists, but I've never been there. So.
it? Do you know any friends that go?
No, actually, no, I do not.
Cinema, Pathé,
Okay, by the Schouwburg.
Schouwburg, yeah.
Alright. Have you ever been to Cinerama?
Never been. No, never been.
Have you guys heard about Cinerama?
Yeah, I've heard, but just the name.
So I take it you go to cinema. Which cinema may I ask?
Pathé.
Have you ever been to Cinerama?
What's Cinerama?
So I take it you go to the cinema.
Not really. I mostly just download movies online.
After this interview, we were convinced that Cinerama may face a problem in the long run, a problem far greater than Pathé. The problem? The internet. New generation have become used to everything being available online and for free. And when they do choose to go to the movies, Pathé seems to be the more popular choice. It's clear to us that Cinerama offer an alternative, more personalized, perhaps even more social experience to moviegoers. But Cinerama at the moment, they face two problems. One, their audience, or their target audience, perhaps don't even know that Cinerama exists. Or two, that their target audience find more routine, more natural to just go to the Pathé at Schouwburgplein. And with the likes of the internet and the explosion of online piracy, we find that people more and more nowadays are sitting at home and watching content online. Lastly, with the age of the internet, we see that people in the long run, we wonder whether they will actually want to look for the same kind of experience that Cinerama have to offer. And for us, that remains to be seen.